Hello everyone, I'm sarig, the CEO and co-founder of Pillar Security, and thank you again for joining us today. Over the next 10 minutes, we will explore together the fundamentals of AI security, but from a first principle perspective, as I like to say. And we'll start by asking two key questions. First, what is the technological shift that AI represents? And why does it demands a new security approach? And we'll also define where existing security control falls short and why new solutions are required. Do I have the ability to change the screen? All right. So to understand how to secure AI, which is a very complex problem, let's start with a familiar framework, the traditional software security framework. And I'm sure that most of you security folks know securing traditional software using well-established DevSecOps lifecycle that you can see here, right? Where every stage from planning, building, testing, deploying, operating has mature security control like SCA, SAST, DAST, SIEM, and so on. But this is also where the comparison breaks down, because while AI is a form of software, it is fundamentally a new kind of software, right? And it's also built in a fundamentally new way. And I would argue that this is the central challenge here. As we can see in this diagram, AI introduces a completely new development lifecycle that runs almost in parallel to our traditional one. So now we have two processes to secure: the traditional software loop and this new AI loop, which revolves around data and models. And this new process creates an entirely new attack surface and challenges, and introduces risks of data leakage, inference attacks, insecure model outputs, threats that traditional controls are simply not equipped to handle. Now, this fundamental shift, I would argue, also creates gaps in three key areas: skills, controls, and risks. This slide maps those gaps. On the left, what you see is the familiar security roles with their traditional tools, right? But as you look to the right, you see how AI expands their responsibilities. And in fact, this is what requiring new tools to address entirely new risks. For example, we can take the PTN risk analyst, who's used to focus on SAST and DAST, now needs to perform AI red teaming to find threats like prompt injection or jailbreaking attempts. Now, this chart, which was based on insights we gathered from hundreds of discussions with security leaders, defines the new boundary here. This is where traditional security ends and AI security begins. And it is precisely this gap that inspired us at Pillar to create the SAIL framework. So based on this extensive feedback from the field, we saw a need for what we call a practical how-to guide for securing the entire AI lifecycle. And our answer to that is the SAIL framework, Secure AI Lifecycle Framework. And before we build it, we asked what makes a framework truly useful for our security teams? Because we looked at great existing frameworks like OWASP and NIST, but realized that they were designed to be, I would say, more vulnerability-centric or risk-centric. And they weren't built or emphasizing enough around the process of AI development itself. And this is what led us at Pillar to our core principle for SAIL, which is it had to be a process-driven framework. It is designed to align security with the way your teams already work, from developing a simple chatbot to deploying complex agentic systems or running MCP. So what does it mean for a framework to be a process-driven? It means it provides a risk mapping across the entire AI lifecycle. We built SAIL by deconstructing that lifecycle into 7 core development phases, which we're going to elaborate on later. Across these phases, by the way, we've identified and mapped over 70 distinct AI-specific risks, very comprehensive. And this is also covering more than 30 core AI components. And this is crucial also because, in our opinion, effective AI security goes way beyond just prompt security. It requires securing the entire AI supply chain and ecosystem. It means the models, the data sets, your MCP deployments, your coding agents, and much more. And more importantly, I would say that SAIL doesn't force you to start from scratch. It is designed to be fully aligned and also help you activate existing standards your team already work with, like NIST, ISO, and OWASP. I would say that the strength of SAIL comes from the community that built it together with us. This wasn't our project alone, but a deep collaboration with the great minds that you see here on the screen. The framework was co-authored and reviewed by dozens of practitioners from organizations, as you can see here, industry leaders like SAP, Nestle, ServiceNow, alongside tech giants like Google, Microsoft, and Salesforce. And of course, we're very honored to have some of them, those contributors, on this webinar with us today. I personally think this is what makes SAIL truly a practical guide, because it is grounded eventually in the collective experience of the industry. It provides guidance that is not just comprehensive, but immediately applicable. So I want to move now to really discuss how SAIL works in practice. Let's take this snapshot of the framework itself. As you can see, it breaks the AI lifecycle into 7 distinct phases, each with a granular list of risks, from planning on the left to monitoring on the right. Now, the level of detail is what makes it so actionable. For example, if we take under the test phase, we don't just give a vague advice like do red teaming, right? Very generic. We define a specific, often overlooked risk, like in this case, 4.2, that Ian mentioned, incomplete red teaming coverage. But this addresses really critical blind spot when teams test the core model, but ignore the additional components like meta prompts or tools it can invoke. This can leave a dangerous lateral attack path wide open. So for every one of these 70 plus risks that we cover in the framework, we also provide a breakdown, as you can see here, with a full description, concrete examples, the associated or affected assets, and a clear mitigation steps, in addition to the mapping that we are providing for other frameworks. Now, the best part of the SAIL is this is a living playbook. The SAIL framework is a completely free, open source, and available on our website. You can search on Google for the SAIL framework, or just go to the PILA website. We're constantly improving it with our community, and of course invite you to contribute as well. Now, a framework is only useful, I would say, if you know how to apply it. So let's talk about putting SAIL into action. The key to understanding that building AI security is a journey, right? And this maturity model that you see here shows that every organization starts somewhere, right? You may be at the initial or developing stage, and that is perfectly fine. Now, the power of SAIL is that it is designed to help you, no matter your starting point or size. It provides the foundation to build a realistic AI security roadmap. For example, if you're just starting out, you'll focus on the planning or asset discovery sections of the framework. If you are at the intermediate level, SAIL can provide the structure to master threat modeling and contextual-based red teaming. So in fact, I would say it meets you where you are and show you the path forward. We've built the PILA platform with the exact mindset as SAIL. To secure AI effectively, we argue that you need an end-to-end, process-oriented, and an automated approach. And this diagram that you see here shows our unique approach in action. Our goal is to infuse security across every stage of this new AI lifecycle. From development to production, the key insight is that these gaps or these stages, there aren't separated silos. They are part of a continuous and smart loop where each phase enriches the others. And for example, I can pick AI discovery, that it doesn't just create an inventory for you, but it provides the essential context to conduct a red teaming. The results of that red teaming in turn are used to tune and improve the guardrails that protects the application in production. So I would say that the PILA platform is a learning system that gets smarter and more secure with every cycle. And this is how you move from reactive checklist to a more proactive unified security engine. So to bring it all together, our platform is designed to equip your teams with the 3 most critical capabilities in your AI security journey. First, we help you discover visibility, giving you complete visibility to answer how and where are we actually using AI, both in development and production, as part of our CI/CD and beyond that, homegrown applications or third-party ones. We help you discover and map everything. Secondly, we help you evaluate. Now that we know what assets and applications we have in our AI ecosystems, what are the specific risks, the most crucial risks or compliance gaps that we need to address right now? And finally, we empower you to protect. We're giving you the tools to mitigate those risks and gaps. In fact, turning security from a blocker into an enabler of this innovation. This is the core of Pillar Mission.